Folks, welcome to Werewolf Radar, the world's premier paranormal preparedness and MCU discussion podcast. My name is Jordan Dahl.
I am Nate Baldwin.
And I'm Roger Norquist.
Today's episode of Werewolf Radar is brought to you by the Monstroco Box of Spiders. Have a misbehaving child or employee? Some time in the Box of Spiders should clear that right up. Box of Spiders by Monstroco. What the fuck? Oftentimes I find simply threatening some time in the Box of Spiders will...
Probably does the trick.
It would work for me. I would be the most behaved boy if you threatened me with the Box of Spiders.
Truly. But, and here's the thing, like, you don't know how many spiders are going to be in the box that you get.
Oh, right. Could just be two. Could be thousands.
Could be 10,000. Yeah. However, I find that so few people are willing to take the risk because being in a small box with any spiders isn't great.
That's basically what a home is. You're in a box with a bunch of spiders. You just can't see them.
Amen. This is a cheaper alternative if you think of it like that. It's much smaller. It's much smaller, and the spiders are much more apparent. There's nowhere to hide in the Box of Spiders from Monstroco. What the fuck? There's nowhere to hide in the Box of Spiders.
It's a tiny home for you and the spiders.
Yep, just you and the spy. Okay, boyos.
Yes.
Can I go first?
You can. But first, I think we should go over a listener, a Dark Council's ghost encounter.
We got a live encounter from Cheesebot in chat.
I'm going to share the Discord so we can see it. Join the Discord too. Links up on every YouTube episode. He says, spooky times, I have moving Lego minifigs. Figurines is what that's short for, not the fruit.
Not the fruit figs, right.
Is it a fruit?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Figs are now fruit. Change your society.
Oh boy.
Sitting on the couch waiting for a repairman to arrive, so I have the cat locked in the bedroom when I hear a little patter on the floor across the room. This first picture is the area in question, and then I get up to find Princess Leia on the floor. And for that, I would go, like it probably just fell on its own accord, bad leaning or something, like that. It fell right in front of the bookcase. The answer is no. Here is another image right there, a little speck on the ground is the Princess Leia figurine. And it is like, what, 4 feet, 5 feet, maybe even 6 feet away from the bookcase?
That's pretty strange.
And, Lego figures are pretty famously attached to the landscapes that they inhabit.
This is true.
This is not the case. The bookcase does not have a layer of Lego stick to it. Actually, some of them look like they do.
So my question is, Cheesebot, cats? Do you have cats?
They do. But the cat was in the bedroom because the repairman was coming over.
Okay. Cat locked in the bedroom when I hear pitter patter across the floor. Yeah.
In the chat, they say, we'll just go to the start, posted pictures in the Discord.
Chat is French for cat.
Shop.
That's true.
In the book, she's pretty good at the Force, if memory serves well. She is. Those books, Leia gets some Force skill, baby.
I think we cracked it.
This figurine might have thrown itself across the room.
Now.
They say, but yeah, the minifigure, I put it back on the shelf and shook it to see if it would fall off. And she did, but hit 20 different things on the way down and landed nowhere where I found her. All the other minis fell too, though.
Pretty strange.
Yes, very strange. One more time, let's go look at that Discord. We have the bookcase here. If you can see my cursor, on the floor and the distance.
It's also worth noting that paragraph ends with, so it was wild that it was just her the first time.
It is, man, for sure. Nothing else seemed to be knocked down.
Did you guys see the Lego movie?
I have not.
I did not.
I'm culturally behind.
Oh, you got to watch the Lego movie. It's great.
People did love it.
At the end, boy, I don't want to spoil it. So What I'm saying
You
is
shouldn't
perhaps
you shouldn't feel bad for spoiling movies that are like
It's gotta be
5
10
years
years
old.
old, right?
Yeah, don't
it's a
worry.
pretty magical reveal. What I'm saying is I think the characters on this shelf are in some sort of a story that is happening on a different plane of reality, and she's making a break for it. She's like, I'll go. I'm the hero that we need. I will leap from the shelf. Ah! They're doing a Toy Story.
While you're in the room,
Yes, while you're in the room, which is ballsy.
what happens if the child sees the toys move in Toy Story? Is it just psychological damage? I don't remember.
Yeah, they go to a mental institution.
I don't know. It's a good
I
question.
felt that happened in one of them. Wasn't the bully scared by the toys move or something?
Yeah, they shattered his mind.
Okay, so it's like a D20 damage dice on psychic damage to the victim.
Yeah.
Oh
They had
man,
to take a
and
few days off.
if you're a level 0 peasant, you're maxing out at like 6 or 7 hit points. So
Straightened that little creep right out. He never tortured another toy, and he was nice to the neighbors.
From that point on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's what I wanted to share.
Little time in the box of spiders would have cleared that right up.
Thanks for sharing, Cheesebot. If you, any listener, have something paranormal happen to you, please hit us up on our Discord. We also have a website, werewolfradar.com, with a contact us link. And you can email us anonymously, add your name if you want. We would love to share your stories because there's so much happening around us, and we want to blow the door off all of it. Now, Jordan, I do believe you would like the speaking skull.
I am going to take the speaking skull. I am going to gently blow into the area where the spine used to be while working my fingers on the eye and ear holes to produce a sound really quick.
Oh, I barely hear it. You're getting it. It's warming up. Oh, now he's just going to show how good he is at speaking skull.
It was disarmingly similar to that haunted mummy bones.
Oh no.
Yeah, remember when we caused
it was
COVID?
The larynx. It was the larynx that they pushed air through. Wild. Okay, I would like to go first because I wanted to talk to you guys about a little piece of paranormal news that I found from the valley where I grew up in Colorado. I lived in the town of Redacted, which is near Glenwood Springs in the state of Redacted, and that is all near a place called Carbondale, Colorado. Y'all know Carbondale?
I know Redacted Dale.
We call it Carbondale in the valley. We think
really?
That's our attempt at humor.
That's a pretty good one.
It's up there with calling it Target.
Now, wait a minute. This might be the wrong Carbondale. I'm a dingus.
Wait, there can't be more than one Carbondale.
Sure.
How is it pronounced?
Carbondale.
Carbondale.
Oh,
Carbondale.
This is from Cannondale, the bicycle manufacturer.
Okay, it doesn't matter. And there was a town called Carbondale near where I grew up. This might not be it. However, according to the Times Tribune, Carbondalian celebration. Hundreds mark the paranormal anniversary. So they're celebrating the Carbondalian. This was on November 9th, 2024. Carbondale, peace, love, and aliens. Dwayne and Denise Lindmuth bore the motto on their t-shirts Saturday. So there's t-shirts.
Order them now.
There's a guy named Dwayne.
There's a guy named Dwayne. There's t-shirts. They say peace, love, and aliens, which is specially made for the Carbondalian Festival, marking the 50th anniversary of an infamous incident near Russell Park in Carbondale that many believe was a UFO crash landing on November 9th, 1974.
How have we never heard about this crash? I love it.
That's what's making me think it's not the Carbondale I know.
You would have been familiar with this alien crash.
So everybody step into the Wayback Machine. We're going back to the 70s.
All right.
Days of freaking biting the heads off of bats, or was that the 80s? Of Satanic Panic and Stranger Things. Was that the 70s? Was that the 80s? Get in the machine.
Okay.
The legend began when 3 teenage boys alerted police after witnessing a, quote, red whirring ball fall from the sky and into a mine pond. The incident drew police, military, and the curious to the city and concluded with a dive team pulling a battery-powered mine lantern from the pond.
That's still pretty neat, even if it's not an alien.
So weird. Why would it fall from the sky?
Do you think that's what it was, or that's just what they found to be like? Well, the story will go on, of course, but
yeah, I think that is probably what they pulled up, and they were just like, "This is it. This was it. Everyone go home."
Everyone go home. How did it fall from the sky? Shut up.
So many questions.
Trebuchet.
The Lindemuths traveled about 2 hours from Ambler, which I think is in Pennsylvania, so it's a different Carbondale. Some of those attending were simply out for an afternoon of fun with the family, while others are true believers in UFOs and other supernatural phenomena. Adrian and Maria Johnson of Kingston were among the latter, but both are familiar with the history of UFO sightings, including the Roswell incident. That's the one they know. They say, "We believe." And then the rest of the article is really just about how the festival went. And it sounds like it was a pretty good one. But this led me to the question that I want to ask you guys and the listeners. What's the spooky thing that happened in your hometown?
Well,
What's the spookiest place in your hometown?
I had a witch house right across from the school.
Nice.
And on days to where it wasn't windy, there was like a swing on the back porch that we could all see, and it would just swing by itself, baby.
It wasn't the wind.
It was not the wind, like no wind at all. And
That's
then all of a
house.
sudden, it just starts swinging. We sometimes saw an old lady in the windows. Witch house.
Okay. That's a witch house.
Yeah, that's spooky. We had a couple. We had the old abandoned cement factory.
Okay.
Which was always a good place to go to. It had a crazy giant spinning demon wheel in the middle.
What? And
I guess it was
contest.
slightly less abandoned than we surmised.
What is a spinning demon wheel?
Like imagine the back of a cement truck.
Okay.
But 5 to 10 times that size, just making concrete.
Oh, crazy. Sweet.
And it was real creepy. People always felt like it caused them to want to self-harm.
Oh no.
We would climb the smokestacks and shit.
Weird. Wow.
And there was an institution that I think had children. It definitely had a child wing, but it was abandoned as well. And it was scary as shit. We'd break into there sometimes too.
Okay. Cool. In my hometown of Eagle, there was an alley where this old woman named Garnet, who was kind of an outsider, outskirts of society type person, kept to herself. And we were sure that it was haunted and that there was a spooky monster that lived down there. However, if we go back, the monster was called MM, which stood for Mysterious Monster.
Good name.
And I think she was pretty sick of us hanging around her alley and pretending there was a ghost down there after a while.
You also had the bodybuilding half man. It's great to look.
That is true. Did you see that DeSimone named one of his new hot sauces bodybuilding half man?
I did not see that yet. That's fucking great.
That's incredible.
It's
Rick
weird that he's
DeSimone.
become a sauce man.
Shout out to
it's good stuff.
What is the stuff? What's the brand called? Let's shout him out.
It's just the Quarantine Project.
Quarantine Project hot sauce. Go check them out.
He used his quarantine money to develop hot sauces and has never looked back.
He's never looked back. He's crushing it. TBH. So if we go back even further than that in my history, we go back to Scotland, which is where I was born. I was born in redacted Scotland on the northeast coast in the North Sea. And the one that was nearby was Crathes Castle.
I
And
think
we
I've
would
maybe
go
heard of this.
we would go to the like tours at Crathes Castle every once in a while. And there are two ghosts that are said to live in Crathes Castle. This is from hiddenscotland.com. The article is called The Two Lady Ghosts of Crathes Castle. It was written by Graham John Cock. The first one is the White Lady, the lesser known of the two Crathes Castle's hauntings. This is the spirit of a lady named Bertha who fell in love with a young laird, Alexander Burnet. They were due to be married, and she had her own room in the castle while the wedding was being arranged. Unfortunately, Alexander's mother, Lady Agnes, didn't think that Bertha was good enough for her only son. She waited until Alexander was away for the night and during dinner poisoned his bride-to-be.
That is a dick move.
What would be your game plan? She'd be like, well, she
fucking
had dinner and then got sick and died, son. No poisoning.
So this was in like the 1400s. And I think that getting poisoned by dinner, I think that people dying was a lot more commonplace.
Oh, yeah.
And if you were like, she got food
Sure.
poisoning
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she died, I'm so sorry. You'd be like, well,
We didn't scrape any of the black mold off of all of the
Yeah.
food we've been keeping.
regardless, fucking dick move.
Yes.
On his return, Alexander was distraught and he was sure that his mother had a part to play in Bertha's untimely death, so he didn't buy it. Alexander's suspicions were confirmed when the girl's parents came to collect her body. Suddenly, Lady Agnes went white as a sheet, pointing into the distance and screaming, "She comes! She comes!" before dropping down dead. It's said that once a year on the anniversary of her death, the White Lady wanders a track between the old castle and the new.
Ooh, that gave me some goosebumps.
My man. Me too. The more famous ghost of the Crathes Castle is the Green Lady, and that's who we knew. Should be noted that the Green Lady is a motif that shows up in a lot of English castles and stories, and it's kind of sometimes a spin-off of the Green Man, who is kind of a pre-Celtic
Sure.
doodly-doodly-doo. However, this is the one that I knew growing up, and the one that I remember having sort of an experience with that but my brother also remembers it. I'll tell you about it after we talk about the story of the Green Lady. The Green Lady has been spotted by many people over the years, including Queen Victoria. Nobody knows exactly who the Green Lady is, but one story alleges that she was one of the Burnet Laird's daughters. This young lady had a relationship with a stable boy and became pregnant. She managed to hide her condition for a while, but there was no way to cover it up after she gave birth. Her father flew into a rage when he discovered what had happened, and soon after, the girl and the baby both disappeared.
So he hasn't seen her in like 5 months.
No, she went the I'm just fat route.
Yeah.
But
The Phantom-
the idea to hide a pregnancy up until the birth, is quite impressive. Good for you, ma'am, to be able to do that shit.
Do you remember there was that show, I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant?
Oh, yeah.
Although they're not hiding their births. They have a story where they're like, I'm putting on all this weight. Things are getting a little weird with my body. And then
my stomach keeps on kicking.
Yeah.
And then they
The Phantom appears as a young woman carrying a baby or a green orb, traveling across the room and disappearing into the fireplace.
Oh, maybe that's why it was easy to hide. It was just light inside her stomach, inside her uterus.
Listen to this. Whatever the truth behind the legend is, there may be some basis in fact. In the 1800s, renovations were being done in the Green Lady's room, and when the workmen lifted the hearth of the fireplace, they discovered the bones of a young baby underneath.
Oh.
The Green Lady of Crathes Castle isn't shy and is still making her presence felt today. A few years ago, an Australian tourist was visiting the castle on a quiet day as the only person wandering the rooms. Just as she set foot on the staircase to make her way down to the Green Lady's room, she heard a clear voice in her ear say, Don't go in the next room. Don't go in. Get out now. She raced down the spiral staircase as fast as she could and shot out of the main door to the surprise of the guide on reception. No amount of persuasion could get her back inside to finish the tour.
Yep.
Cool. And if you'll let me share my screen, I can show you guys the picture of the fireplace where they found
You should be able to share.
the remains of the child. Do you see it here?
Oh yeah.
And that's the bastard who did it.
This must be the bastard what done it.
Oh man, and it was underneath there, like they lifted the stone and just dropped
yeah,
the
they were
body down there.
Oh, well, yeah, there was probably, back in the day, there was probably like a coal pit under there
Oh yeah.
or something. And they were doing renovations and they found bones back there. So I remember one time being there in that room with the fireplace, the room where they tell the story of the Green Lady. And everybody was shuffling out to go up to the next room. And as they were, we went to the corner and started looking down the staircase in the corner that she's supposed to come up. And we saw light coming around the corner. And we ran screaming out of there. I was like 5. My brother also remembers this happening to him. So we might have been together, but I remembered being alone. So maybe one of us it happened to, and we told the story. And with the kind of malleability of brains of youth, we were like, oh, it happened to me. But that's the tale of the Green Lady of Crathes Castle, one that always creeped me out. And a call to action for you, dear listeners. Please tell us what's spooky in your hometown. Do you have a Carbondalians freaking festival? Do you have a Mothman fest? Hit us up. Let us know.
I always wonder about the haunted tours and the validity of things happening while on tour. Like there's a lot of incentive for the tour to, maybe produce a greenish light just barely off the stairs for some of the stragglers,
Bro, that would be what a move.
When I was in journalism school, we went to the Oxford Hotel to do a feature on, like a paid feature that you get asked to do for shit about old hotels and whatnot for papers. And one of the rooms in the Oxford Hotel in Redacted, Colorado, where I live, it's very haunted. And they also have the Velvet Room is very haunted as well at the Oxford Hotel. The whole hotel is haunted. Old Shanghaiing place. They still have the Shanghaiing rooms where the beds would drop into a secret compartment and you just become a sailor.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, you can to this day tour the Shanghai tunnels in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, that's the worst.
But
get ready to be thirsty for 8 months.
There's one room in there to where the tour guy will go in there. They'll be like, this room's very haunted. All sorts of stuff happens, blah, 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 blah. The radio turns on. And then maybe 5 minutes after, the radio just turns on full volume, scaring the shit out of everyone in the class. And I think about it was that just the guide with a remote control? Because I don't want the ghost to get me.
Yeah,
definitely could be.
You don't want the ghost to get you. You don't want to get grabbed by the ghoulies.
Yeah, truly.
Well, that does it for my segment that I'm calling Spooky Local Legend Time. Nice. And I will pass the speaking skull to whomever would like to take it.
Well, I think we're going into Bigfoot country now. Nate, would you like to do your Bigfoot? Your Bigfoot state, or shall I go to mine?
It's Bigvember. I forgot.
It is Bigvember. November belongs to Bigfoot. I have a sneaking suspicion that I may have one of the same articles as you up. So
I guarantee you don't.
Okay.
I found some crazy shit.
In that case, I shall go.
But I think our segments are definitely related.
Yeah, it's about Bigfoot being an alien, maybe.
Hmm.
And then I've got some other backup Bigfoot stuff if if we happen to have too much crossover.
Bigfoot is an alien. He high fives them all day.
My article's from Hunt a Killer and then the Daily Star.
Okay, then yeah, we don't have the same things.
Excellent.
Isn't the Daily Star like a communist worker zine?
I wish, man. Unfortunately not.
You're thinking of Mao's Little Red Book.
Which is Nate's and I's little zine we're pushing out there.
Sure, I've seen it. I've seen the drawings.
Are they sexy or?
Sexy is in the eye of the Mao holder.
You get it.
Mm-hmm.
Just new drawings of Mao.
I bet that would sell.
Chairman Meow.
So this is from the HuffPo from a little while ago. Rather than being a missing link between man and apes, Bigfoot may possibly be an alien entity. The intriguing possibilities derived from evidence in several solid UFO cases.
Oh.
The earliest clues date back to 1888, which I did not expect.
No, that's very early, but some UFO sightings for sure. You got a Texas crash around that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. When a cattleman described an encounter with friendly Native Americans in Humboldt County, California. They led him to a cave where he saw a hefty humanoid creature covered in long, shiny black hair with no neck, sitting cross-legged.
Whoa. What?
Yeah, Bigfoot really don't got a neck. It's all like whatever that muscle is in between it. So where like his neck is gone and he's just fucking shoulders, man.
He's just fucking
because he's part of crew is what they're called. Sorry.
One of the guides, I guess you'd call him, told this guy that 3 of these quote-unquote crazy bears had been cast out of a small moon that dropped from the sky and landed. The moon then ascended back into the air. So it's highly likely that the crazy bears were really Bigfoots and the moon a spacecraft.
Yeah, for someone who didn't, or for people who did not have the right lexicon, I think I would also call it a moon or a star. Probably a moon would be more reasonable because I can actually see the moon and its physicality.
That's insane. They were just like, hey, can you hold these for us? Hey, can we leave these guys here?
They're cool. Don't worry about them.
Hey, we're not supposed to have these.
So now we jump about 100 years, not quite 100 years forward to 1973. Mrs. Reef Hetfield, she and her 13-year-old son were sleeping in a trailer in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay.
On the morning of October 21st, arose at 2:30 a.m. to quench her thirst and noticed strange lights in the adjoining parking lot. Looking out the window, her attention was drawn in particular to an inexplicable cone of light shaped like a huge bubble umbrella, about 7 feet in diameter.
Okay.
Nearby, she spotted a grayish ape-like creature with a large downward-angled snout, no neck, and a sizable waist.
This sounds as a sloth.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah,
although
very
I think it's like
sloth-like.
way bigger.
This sound as a sloth might sound.
Moving slowly, so it keeps with the sloth thing, it entered into the light. About 5 minutes later, both Ape Man and UFO disappeared.
Okay.
Another dramatic incident occurred a few days later on October 25th, 1973. A group of farmers in Fayette County, Pennsylvania, caught sight of a dome-shaped UFO that was brightly lit and about 100 feet in diameter. As the locals drove toward it, they saw a pair of gargantuan creatures covered with thick matted hair, luminescent green eyes, and long arms that dangled below their knees.
Just dingle dangle, huh?
Yeah. Just dragging
Dangly,
nuts.
dangly, 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 dangly.
It makes it seem like they're very shaggy in movement, just arms hanging down all the time.
Well, they got that cool Patterson Gimlin gait.
I've never heard it called cool before, but I'm going to be calling it cool all the time. You know how cool that Bigfoot is with his weird walk?
How the cool guys walk.
Naturally, of course, a farmer's son fired a gunshot at the creatures,
Sure, yeah.
one of which raised its right hand in the air. At that very moment, the UFO disappeared. Then the two Bigfoots escaped into the woods and were never seen again.
How
Damn it,
sad.
we lost two of our crazy bears.
Dairy farmer William Bosack of Frederick, Wisconsin was returning from a co-op meeting about 10:30 p.m. on December 9th, 1974, when he nearly slammed into a globular UFO on the road in front of him, its bottom half enshrouded in fog. Inside the visible transparent dome was a 6-foot-tall ape-like creature with reddish-brown fur covering its body, except for the face.
Crazy bear.
Crazy bear, distinctive pointed ears.
Oh,
It appeared to be operating a
Now-
control panel.
that sounds like Beastor from He-Man. Sorry, Beastman, I think is his name.
It does, actually. As Bozak passed by, the object suddenly arose and disappeared. August 1976, after a series of UFO sightings around Rutland, British Columbia, several men and their children saw a hairy ape-like entity, 6 to 7 feet tall, roaming about a mountainside. They also, pardon me, they also found a clump of hair that was sent to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police for identification. Lab analysis did confirm that it was primate hair,
Hey.
but significantly could not be matched to any known species on Earth.
Well,
I mean- North America doesn't have primates, so this is already very bizarre.
Quidgibo?
Yeah.
Sorry, we got Quidgibo, but other than that, there's not a lot of primates in North America.
That's true.
It's pretty rare. Most of them are in zoos. Perhaps the Bigfoot creatures are UFO pilots, landing on Earth for exploratory purposes. Or conceivably, higher-level ETs are leaving behind some specimens as guinea pigs to test our environment for long-term survival.
Interesting.
Or, this one's fun, and I feel like we've maybe theorized this before, possibly these Bigfoots are criminal entities being deposited on Earth as a form of cosmic deportation.
Oh, exactly like Beast Man.
Well, then why aren't they doing crimes here? Why wouldn't they be like fucking
Maybe they're
time to do more
committing-
crimes?
Maybe they're only committing crimes of the forest.
Say that again, Nate.
Maybe they're only committing crimes of the forest. Like, they're not going to rob a bank when all they need to do is, like, steal pine cone supplies from squirrels or whatever.
Somewhere, okay.
So here's another.
Supply.
Like for arts and crafts?
Yes, dude.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
whatever they do. I don't know what big feet do when they're.
I'm
hanging
obsessed
out
with
together.
crimes of the forest now. He's just punching a tree. He's fucking body slamming deer and shit.
I believe
Here's,
there are tales of Bigfoot just cracking deer open.
Got
Oh,
two
yeah,
raccoons
there are for
making them
sure.
kiss. Oh boy.
That's some
Here's
real
a-
He-Man shit right there for sure.
Here's some further theorizing from UFO and paranormal researchers. This is a slightly newer article. Is it possible that a creature known as Bigfoot, Sasquatch, or by a number of different names all over the world is an interdimensional traveler? That's a theory now in play with both Bigfoot and UFO researchers, and one that played heavily into discussions at this weekend's Greater New England UFO Conference held in Leominster.
Okay.
Paranormal researcher William Hall, at the convention ostensibly to talk ghosts, said the paranormal world as a whole is more connected than people realize. But that's beginning to change, at least from the perspective of those involved in ground-level research. Hall, who began his paranormal research with UFOs and aliens, said many of the classic signs of human encounters with otherworldly beings, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot, what have you, have similar signs, be they disappearing beings, fast-moving objects, or strange lights. As a result, many are starting to think of the fields holistically, he said. It used to be that the UFO people didn't talk to the ghost people because they were a little weird, and nobody would talk to the Bigfoot people because they were crazy.
There's a hierarchy here, okay?
Accurate.
Alien people up top, then ghost people,
Uh-huh.
and then way down below,
Mhm.
Bigfoot fans.
Yeah. That's-
I found out we cannot continue to do that. In reality, quantum physics is leading us there. Then it mentions a couple of the things that we've
My name's
talked
Dr.
about.
Pickle. I'm a professor of quantum bigphology.
In modern times, it is a theory that dates back to 1973, but one that is grabbing hold as more and more Bigfoot hunters are reporting run-ins with what is known as the orange orbs. Those are fast-moving lights that one may think are alien in nature, but seen in areas associated with Bigfoot. Renowned Bigfoot hunter Bill Brock was the first speaker at the conference, and the first of the weekend to raise the idea about multidimensional portals. Brock referenced a recent NASA announcement that magnetic portals may be real. Brock said he came to believe in them when he traveled to West Virginia to study the Mothman. But are mysterious orbs transporter beams for Sasquatch? Leominster's Bill Penning believes it's possible. In his first recognized Bigfoot encounter, something large in the woods shook the ground but vanished quickly. In addition, he found a set of tracks that seemed to indicate something appeared behind a running deer very quickly, caught the deer, and then disappeared because both sets of tracks ended at that point.
Dude, that's some apex predator shit right there. Like, way beyond what even we understand.
Yeah.
One, it appears that they can just turn into these orbs and absorb whatever they're holding.
So, here's...
Penning's partner, Ronnie LeBlanc, has seen orange orbs in the same area. If the alien theory is true, it solves one of cryptozoology's biggest unanswered questions. It does not solve a goddamn thing. If Bigfoot is real, where are the bodies? Where are the animal carcasses left behind? Now this one gets extra stupid. That portals could be why we don't see any bodies, why there are no bones, Penning said. Jonathan Wilk, founder of Team Squatchachusetts. Jesus Christ.
You got a nosebleed.
I did. A Bigfoot research group based in Western Mass said YouTube and other internet websites have numerous videos of the orange orbs, but on whether they are related to Bigfoot, he would only go as far as to say that he remains open-minded about the idea. I have no official opinion on it, he said. I leave nothing off the table because there are a lot of things we find in our field work that we can't explain. David McCullough, another member of Team Squatchachusetts, has had his own experience with orbs of bright lights in the woods. Since then, he said he is more than open to the idea of the orbs as portals, which are starting to be reported in every state, often in places known to have Bigfoot sightings. While McCullough said that it left him wondering, he did joke that, based on witness descriptions, the portal beings are more like Star Wars Ewoks than the giants known as Sasquatch.
Okay.
Brock, however, which I don't know, all of the descriptions have been about a giant. So Brock, however, is not convinced. He believes in the orbs, since he believes the description of Mothman's giant glowing red eyes and ability to fly is more descriptive of an alien encounter than a Bigfoot encounter.
Sure.
But he has his own theory on the origin of Bigfoot. He believes the creatures are the prehistoric human rivals, the Neanderthal.
No. I put my average size foot down on this one, but go on.
It's a known fact that human beings and Neanderthals were battling pretty heavy 35,000 years ago, he said.
No, we weren't. We were fucking.
No, they weren't at all. Yeah. I believe they split at that time and went off into the woods. Under Brock's theory, Neanderthals developed as a species parallel to human beings. But while humans were developing technology in cities, Neanderthals were learning to live in the forests and in hiding from their enemies. Like the portal theory, Brock notes his more earthbound beliefs also answer the questions raised by skeptics. Why are they so hard to find? Tens of thousands of years of experience with camouflage, he noted.
Okay.
Like us.
Like gorillas, they're very well at hiding at their home.
Sure. Like us, they became masters of their domain, but their domain was the forest. They know how to hide, he said.
Also,
they actually
we found gorillas.
Eventually, they were a mythological creature for like 200 years until we found them in like the 50s of the 1900s.
Yeah, but we got them.
Yeah, fair enough. We got them.
we got them, boys.
They actually went beyond being masters of their domain. But that leaves the bodies, right? Not so, Brock said, because Neanderthals were and are cannibals.
Boo.
By eating their bodies, they do two things, he said. First, they feed themselves. Secondly, they dispose of the bodies, which not an overtly convincing argument.
And as someone who's studying ancient humans and our progression and whatnot, we still found Neanderthal bones. Like, they weren't eating the bones. They
Now, here's
did
a
eat the
question.
meat. You know, when someone died, then they needed a source of protein. They were like, well, thanks for dying, buddy. I'm going to eat you now.
Here's a
Yeah,
question.
I have seen a Neanderthal skeleton.
Is there any reason to think that Neanderthals weren't covered in hair?
They definitely were not.
How do they know that?
Same way that we know dinosaurs are covered in fur. We found a number of, not fur, sorry. Some dinosaurs had feathers. We found a number of fossils and whatnot that have been well preserved with skin still intact. And Neanderthals developed clothing. Like, they weren't nude out there. They had clothes, which would indicate that they lacked fur that other primates had.
I suppose over centuries they could potentially, you know, if they
Also,
were a particularly swarthy, hairy people,
Yeah.
they could
This flies in the face of nude Bigfoot theory.
they could, you know, if they were a bunch of, you know, Robin Williamses out here breeding for centuries, they could get a pretty thick pelt going on.
They could, but I think even that's too. It's not thick enough. Despite Robin Williams' greatness in both comedy and body hair, I don't think it is enough to forego clothes in the European climate or the North American glacial climate, you know?
Here's my thinking.
Hit us with it.
Well, but first of all, like, that would be, you know, he would mutate over years. You get two Robin Williamses, you put them together, a breeding population of Robins William. And they, you know, over centuries, the hairiest ones breed with the hairiest ones. The coat gets thicker and thicker and thicker. Yeah, I could see a man developing a downy coat to survive as the apes would.
It would take thousands, if not half millennia. No, not even that. Even shorter. 10,000 years. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nice coat.
I think he could survive out there. However, here's the thing that I come to when we talk about Bigfoot, portals, UFOs, high strangeness, etc. What if there was an animal, a shy, reclusive animal that was less attuned, less like, what's the word I'm looking for? Okay, so you know how like an electric eel can shoot electrical charges?
Yeah, it zaps.
Bats can fly. That one bug can explode and shoot chemicals. They have powers. Animals have crazy powers.
And only by destroying them and eating their hearts will we be able to absorb those powers.
What if there was an animal that had some sort of development, some sort of evolutionary ability to, you know, exist on a different timeline than us, or to some kind of space in its mind that allowed it to slip between realities. Reality was less, because of the development of its brain or perception somehow it was less tightly bound to one version of reality.
I could believe that.
I don't know. I'm, you know, okay, we talk about how ghosts, there's an ecosystem.
Yes.
The idea that there are energy entities out there, the idea of multiple realities, the idea that sometimes people slip through realities. What if there was something that had developed the ability to do that on purpose?
I could definitely see that.
And we're using it to hunt.
Super good at time slipping.
Using it to hunt, using it to stay hidden, using it to escape predators. It would explain everything except for the existence of, you know, psychic entities that have that kind of power. I
could see that, and because my whole defense against that is, why don't we have other creatures with similar powers like that?
The electric eel can shoot lightning bolts, and it's, the exploding bug is fire type.
But what I mean is, like, we
What about
don't see it,
squids?
but there are many creatures that have this ability, and they are just
Oh.
not part of our dimensions, if you will.
Interesting.
Right.
And Bigfoot's that one that's like a little bit of both.
Bigfoot's like part of another world, and it's popping into ours every once in a while.
It's what the orange orb theory says.
I don't know. And maybe when it uses whatever this is to punch through into another reality, that's what it looks like. Just as like when lightning strikes, it looks like a bolt of blue light from the sky. Maybe this is just a natural phenomena, and that's what it looks like when you punch through dimensions is a ball of orange light.
That's more believable than Bigfoot Neanderthal theory, for damn sure.
Yeah, that he's just hiding and eating everything every piece of trash he's ever made.
Bigfoot's developed a taste for bones, and that's why we don't find any Bigfoot bones.
He eats them, he grinds them into gel and craps them out. That's why you don't even find scat with it. And I know that what I'm pitching is like I'm doing a straw man trying to make being an ape X-Man sound reasonable, but
that's what our show's about, if anything.
But I think that quantum physics will, as someone who has no knowledge of it, will eventually and is currently positing the theories of, different parallel realities running alongside one another. Why not? Why if it's always been that way, is it so crazy to think that something would evolve to be able to deal with that?
It's as reasonable as any of the skeptic explanations.
Where it's just 7 people in a suit, all taking turns with the suit. The suit's very smelly.
Okay.
Industrial magic. No, it's 7
No,
people.
it's George Lucas, straight up.
There's 7 people in there. There's 7 little people. You know how he has kind of a little person based movie making ethos for a while in the 80s?
Just
it's really good. He's employing a lot of actors
who have been sworn to secrecy and total devotion.
Bigfoot is 7 little people, each operating a different portion of the creature.
And that's one of the things I have against the skeptic one too, is if it is just a bunch of people sworn to secrecy, that doesn't happen. People love telling secrets.
People love telling secrets, but some people are really good at keeping secrets. And I don't know.
We call them CIA agents.
Yes, CIA agents. Carry on.
I mean, I think that's just about the long and short of what I have about Bigfoot being potentially an alien here.
Okay.
All right. Well, give me the skull then, because we're going deeper into this fucking shit.
Oh. Oh, he's packing a bong load into the skull and he's smoking out of it.
Let's climb into the whirlpool.
That green, that bright green, red-haired smoke.
That greasy green grong, I think
this
they call
one,
it.
parts of it, I'm pulling from Hunt a Killer, written by, or Hunt a Killer's the website. I believe that's a board game.
Yeah, kind of.
They're doing some journalism now as well. The title of this article is called "Could Bigfoot Be an Interdimensional Being?" Written by Kristen Anderson.
Dog.
And then I have work from Tom McGee.
Sure.
From thedailystar.co.uk. So let's just go into this at the speed of light. If the idea of Bigfoot as an undiscovered species is already too out there for you, you're not going to like this.
Thanks for the heads up article.
There are 2 main camps for Bigfoot believers, which we discussed. We have a biological explanation to where it is a unidentified track of human evolution that lives alongside us Homo sapiens. We're Homo sapiens, right?
Yes.
Or are we something different?
Homo sapiens sapiens.
Thank you. And then we have those who believe that it is something a lot extra, such as interdimensional being or alien. Is Bigfoot a cryptozoological creature or some sort of ghost, or maybe both?
Ooh.
While ideas of a physical and metaphysical Bigfoot take up space, it's useful to approach this inquisitive and thought-provoking idea rather than a fact-finding mission. The books Where the Footprints End, volumes 1 and 2, deal with things that Nate brought up about, such as Bigfoot tracks just disappearing out of nowhere.
Is that a Timothy Renner book?
Yes, it is.
Hell yeah. Love that guy.
They also explore myths and legends that might have unexpected ties to the Bigfoot phenomenon, similar to fairies and merpeople. One of the top theories about non-terrestrial Bigfoot is that he's some sort of alien. 6 out of the top 10 biggest stars for UFO states, I meant to say. 6 out of the top 10 biggest states for UFO sightings are the same ranking for UFO sightings are the same ranking for Bigfoot sightings. So UFO sightings and Bigfoot sightings kind of go hand in hand. They also have a lot of the same hallmarks, such as we discussed with Nate's segment. We see strange lights, fast-moving objects, particularly orange orbs are a big part of the Bigfoot phenomenon. These fast-moving balls of light have been seen in tandem with many big feet. With many Bigfoot?
Sure. Big feet, I guess it would be.
We're going to go with that. Change your society, people. It's big feet now. Leading to speculation that they could be transporter beams or portals. Another commonality in Bigfoot sightings is a sudden, weird, unnatural silence in the forest.
Oh.
Maybe it's not all the creatures who live there are quieting down because there's a scary Bigfoot, but perhaps you've somehow entered another dimension.
Oh.
And that version of the forest is silent. Or perhaps because of how sound works and how we hear, we are unable to hear any sound in this dimension. It doesn't work the same, or there's not enough molecules or sound sound waves.
It's like a fog of ultra low frequency has settled over that patch of forest all of a sudden.
So we're deaf to it and we can't hear anything except for very specific sounds.
Yeah.
Could it be silent because in this dimension, you're the predator they're scared of?
Whoa.
No one knows for sure. Along with alien theories, inevitably come government cover-up theories. So we got a government side of this as well. They say that Bigfoot is an alien and the government knows about it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, bang it out, Fox Mulder.
Perhaps it's really about what the existence of Bigfoot implies about what else might be out there. It could create a domino effect, like the reverse of finding out Santa isn't real, and then wondering if this means that the Easter Bunny's out as well. Well, we at here what Werewolf Radar say both are real.
Yeah.
Both are predators, and that's why there's so many disappearances on both those holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen both those guys in various malls.
This article then goes into what if it's neither. However, we do talk about ghosts as interdimensional beings. What if Bigfoot is some sort of ghost? Is it Timothy Renner? Sorry about that. I already forgot. Yeah. Timothy Renner coins the term wilderness geists.
Oh.
Which means wood spirits. Bigfoot could be a weird wilderness spirit, kind of like a tulpa, or I guess, a true spirit, like what some cultures believe, a fae creature.
Yeah.
Or even just like a swamp thing or something, a protector of the green.
I am on board with that. To once again blend the Bigfoot believer camps, it said that poltergeist, which are energies that physically move things, are often generated by people who are in a highly emotional state. Perhaps there are physical Bigfoot, and the danger they feel when they're being pursued causes wilderness geist activity.
Wilderness geist.
Our two favorite frauds and ghost hunters, Ed and Lorraine Warren, even got into this Bigfoot debate.
They have no business being part of this.
They one time traveled to Tennessee to make contact, and Lorraine telepathically contacted the creature. Ed concluded that Bigfoot wasn't just a physical being. Ed said, "It is my belief that Bigfoot is a tulpa or mind projection. So is the Loch Ness Monster. and many other now you see it, now you don't creatures that get reported to the press. That concludes the phenomenal work of Kristen Anderson. I posted her article on our Discord. Please read it. It is a great read. And now we go to the goddamn press. I'm at dailystar.co.uk with the headline from one Tom McGee. We're going to say McGhie is his last name. Jordan, can you Briticize that for me?
Tom McGee.
Thank you. Interdimensional Bigfoot is smarter than humans and can run 100 miles an hour.
Got him.
That is a fun fact to throw around.
Hell yeah.
And this comes to us from a YouTube video. You might be familiar. Channel 5's Andrew Callahan, known sex pest, but he apologized for it.
Mm-hmm.
Is this Bigfoot defeats Usain Bolt?
At this speed, Usain Bolt doesn't stand a chance. The article says Bigfoot commentators have claimed the mythical beast is interdimensional and capable at running 100 miles an hour, not teleporting, but just straight up, feet on the ground, 100 miles an hour, faster than your car can safely go on the highway because it keeps shaking. Is that too specific? Is that just my car?
No, I think that's most cars.
Okay, good, good.
Unless it's like brand new, then it's probably good.
Speaking at the annual Pennsylvania Bigfoot Convention, eccentric couple Brian and Terry Seach added another layer of intrigue to the Sasquatch legend. Brian says they're smarter than humans. They stay away from humans. They're smarter, so they know that's a good thing to keep away, keep their distance.
Okay.
People are seeing things that look like a giant ape, 6 to 8 feet tall. West Virginia, Ohio. They see it all over the place. Those are the two places of America, West Virginia and Ohio.
Actually, that's one place. It's the town of West Virginia in Ohio, Colorado.
His wife, Terry, said they're interdimensional, which is another reason why we can't see where they're going. Kind of explaining we see it, then it walks off and it kind of disappears. We can't see where they're going or where they're coming from.
Boy, you said it.
Some can run up to 100 miles an hour and keep up with cars.
They are really obsessed with this running Bigfoot.
Look.
Yeah, new theory for you, everyone. Running Bigfoot.
100 miles an hour? That's insane. Can you imagine seeing somebody run 100 miles an hour?
100 miles an hour.
It would be terrifying.
This is how I drive. I always do the math to find out how many miles I go within a minute. I don't know why. Don't worry about what's wrong with my brain. But 100 miles an hour is 1.5 miles per minute.
Yeah.
So like they could just fucking, they'd be out of a county within like 30 minutes of running. The time it takes you to run a mile, I assume all of our listeners are somewhat slow, like I am. They'd be out of the county. They'd be in a whole nother district, a whole nother jurisdiction.
Does he have to like get up to speed? Or can he just move 100 miles an hour like from here to across the street?
I think it's 0 to 100 within 6 seconds.
Interesting.
Which is pretty instant.
I feel like that would be loud.
Yeah, it probably would be.
Just feet pounding on the ground.
Just him running through your town, stomping holes in the ground.
And we don't...
A face covered in bugs that splattered all over it.
Teeth.
And Andrew Callahan is going the early Daily Show route at it, to where he's not making fun of these people outright, but it is focusing on the more absurd claims of people at this convention. But still, these claims are being made. So yeah, he's just grunting Bigfoot is now my Bigfoot.
Okay.
And he will outrun Usain Bolt. He will outrun a cheetah. He can swim faster than a dolphin. I don't know if dolphins are that fast at swimming. I assume they're pretty fast.
Well, They gotta be pretty fast.
I know nothing about dolphins other than they are sexual beings.
Yeah.
Terry also says there are eyewitnesses. It doesn't make any sense, but that's what they saw. They saw Big Feet going 100 miles an hour. And Brian says this, not Terry, although the two are together. The others who spoke at convention claimed the large ape man arrived here with aliens, and they built the pyramids.
Oh.
Chalk that theory up, Egyptologists.
Well, here's the thing.
The Bigfoots built the
pyramids. That's how it wasn't sand and rollers with liquid helping reduce the friction, Nate. It was Big Feet fucking lugging this shit like the I don't know, powerhouse that he is.
Yeah. Just
Can you imagine the books of the dead, the writings that show the pyramids being built, and it's just a Bigfoot running with just a big block over his back.
Hell yeah.
block.
fucking going 100 miles an hour. He finished that shit in 3 days. It was an army of 1,000 Bigfoots, and they conveniently, wrote that out. They couldn't have that in the book.
Yeah, they changed that. They were like, no, we built it.
Yeah.
Here's how we did it. Rollers, sand, little sleds.
Millions of lives.
Millions of lives where we definitely have their corpses, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Bigfoot killed those guys because they were moving so fast.
He did it. Yeah. he was trying to come to terms with his powers, and he just smacked all those guys.
Just ran through crowds of people trying to help build the pyramids and just squished them.
There's a couple Teamsters on their break chastising him because it's an hourly job.
Yeah.
Unions, long history. So another person at the convention, one Stephen Haslett, says, I'm part of their clan.
The Bigfoot's clan?
Yep. There's one Bigfoot with me wherever I go.
Is he talking about his own feet?
No, his
size
his shoe size is not listed in the article, but I do believe he means, there is an interdimensional Bigfoot just kind of phasing out of our view and ability to see next to him at all times.
Wow.
Haslett also says the aliens came here to take the gold from our land. If you're familiar with some of Zachariah Ascension did write this, but it truly is misconstrued to fit current ancient alien theories that what were they called? I can't remember. The Anunnaki came from Nibiru to farm gold because they needed the gold for their atmosphere.
Oh, right. They live on Gold World.
Yeah, Nibiru, the 10th planet of the solar system, is Gold World. He says, once again, the aliens came here to take gold from our land. They brought the Bigfoot to protect them from the dinosaurs while they mined gold.
All of this tracks. This makes total sense.
If you have a unaccredited theory about the evolution and progress of human society, it is in this Bigfoot convention right now. Haslett also says that's why they're the first people. They came here ages ago.
Oh.
But at this point, I mean, evolution's real. I think we all disagree with that here on Werewolf Radar. Things stay the same.
Yeah.
There's never any change.
Mm-hmm. We have no Darwinian concept for.
But I disagree with that, because if they were here with the dinosaurs, that puts them at least, or at the youngest, 65 million years ago. Mammals weren't even a thing. All mammals were just little rats. And now look at us. Almost 6 feet tall.
True.
So I just can't believe that Bigfoot was the same in terms of a first people, and it just stayed the same, there would be so many changes. I would like to see the Bigfoot of the dinosaur versus the Bigfoot now, for being honest.
Okay. Interesting. That's fun.
I believe that would be Jordan's brother, King Kong.
Oh yeah, fair.
Was
Sure.
that from this episode or the previous second?
That might have been a grave nugget. Check out our Patreon.
Back when Kong was king.
Haslett goes on with some more awesome claims. They don't trust the government. Me as well, man. Me as well.
Amen.
In the 1960s, the CIA took a cryptid in and tried to capture it.
Go on.
They put cameras on it, but it disappeared in a puff of smoke. The CIA was unable to even touch them, except for putting the cameras on them.
Okay.
Documentarian and apologized sex pest Callahan also stumbled upon a raunchy flyer about a horny cryptid who was promising a good time on one condition.
Whoa. Mamma mia.
I'm not sure what's going on here, Callahan said, but there's a flyer here that says, Bigfoot turns me on. Please give me a call. One rule, no words, just grunts, growls, and howls. If you have that flyer, any listener in, I believe this was Pennsylvania, please post that on our Discord so I can give it a call and grunt through the phone at this person.
Yeah, you don't want to slip in a Bigfoot horny every once in a while.
That is offensive, Jordan.
Come for Bigfoot. Bigfoot late for work.
So I don't know what to take about all this. We had some fun kind of going with some of the more extreme and maybe delusional people of the Bigfoot community, but interdimensional minus 8 segments together. What are we thinking, gentlemen? Is Bigfoot, as we kind of discussed, something that we cannot even interact with? Like if they wanted, they're just gone.
I think it's something that is existing on a different frequency or can kind of wibble the frequencies internally.
It would be the only way that they could exist, I feel, because like you're right, Jordan, we found the gorillas. You know, they used to be a mystery of the mountain and forest men of Africa, and now we know, no, this is just a primate that is still very human-like. They use tools and whatnot, make their own, but
they make hats.
They make hats. If you haven't seen a gorilla with a leaf hat, boy howdy, what a fun time.
A sombrero, a guerrero.
But it would be the only way that it could be real, because we would have found scat, we would have found some bones, we would have found a body in decomposition, we would have, shot one. If Americans are good at one thing, it's shooting shit dead.
I don't know if we are, actually. I feel like a lot of people survive the many shootings that happen every week in this country.
Statistically, yeah, more people survive a shooting than fall from it. But sooner or later, one's going to hit the head, and bingo bango, we got ourselves a Bigfoot steak.
Unless
maybe
Bigfoot's
even a stew.
They could have a second brain inside their abdomen.
I don't know if I could eat a Bigfoot.
That was going to be my next question. Bigfoot stew, we in or we out?
Stew, maybe. Maybe I'd take a bite. But pretty bad about it.
Maybe a beef jerky form.
That's what I'm talking about. I would like to try new and interesting.
That's true. It's just seeped into my head. Now that's what I think about Bigfoot. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's wrap up this episode because we've gone on and it's been phenomenal, but it's time to let people think about what we discussed and return to them next week
with more big.
Yes, I'm gonna close the skull in the speaking skull box
in its velvet lined casket, and we will put it back into the skull humidor for another week. Thank you, skull. Oh, great skull. Thank you also to you, our listeners. We love you guys. Thank you for your continued support of the show. You can check us out on Patreon if you want to help us with a financial donation every month. It can help keep the podcast going in these dark days.
Yes, but we also have extra stuff for you, extra episodes.
You get an extra episode. You get some. You can buy a T-shirt from our merch store.
Yep.
You can come and join us in the Discord where we play video games, talk about video games, and wish we were playing video games.
Also, you can play the video game I'm working on. It's very pre-alpha. What's pre-alpha? It's like version
Yes.
0.0000001 right now, but it's something to play, and I'm
It's
proud of it.
something to pass the time.
Also, my writings on that I'm doing for a video documentary that I'm doing on ancient peoples and how Eric Van Doniken's an idiot.
Yeah, there you go.
There's extra stuff for you.
There's extra stuff for you is the point. You can check us out on Twitch. You can check us out on werewolfradar.com. You can check us out on YouTube. We wish you would if you're watching this on YouTube, but like us and subscribe us. This is the future. This is TV now.
We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. Like, we're
Hell
very
yeah.
close.
It could be you. You could be 1,000.
We are at 983. 17 more, we become YouTube citizens.
There you go. We could be YouTube citizens. We could be legal residents in the new world of tomorrow.
Yes, because we desperately need to leave this world
Yes.
before mid-January.
Bigfoot, come to me and help me time slip. Take me away to your silent forest.
I would like
Until
to
next
time warp
time,
with him, if we're being
folks.
honest.
You do the time warp, the dance?
I do the time warp with Bigfoot,
Nice.
but anyway.
That's cool. Folks, thank you so much is the point. Until next time, as always, please join us in our sign-off line on the count of 3 for you and me. 1, 2, 3, punch
the sky, Spaceman Joe.
Joe.
I'm doing finger guns from now on.
Oh,
I like that.
finger funds.
All right.